Bryce Hall just shut down rumors that his relationship with Addison Rae is fake, saying that they are real, as well as revealing even more details about this relationship. I'm Gabby Conti.
I'm Zach Weinberg.
I'm Jana Rosenberg, and this is the Hollywire Tea Party. Another week of tea, another week of Bradison. But you guys, this is good news for the Bradison shippers and all of us, I would say. So we recently reported that there was a theory going around from a trusted Instagram account saying that Bryce Hall and Addison Rae's relationship was fake. This claim came from when Dumois, a celebrity Instagram page that anonymously exposes people's encounters with famous people, shared a submission from a person claiming to work for Addison's management company that said Bryce and Addison's relationship is totally fake and made for publicity and drama, and that the couple even has a tentative breakup date for December 3rd. And we were not the only ones reporting on it. This claim was not only trending on TikTok, where Bryce saw it, but also Bradison's fan accounts shared it as well, begging the source to not try to ruin their relationship and claiming this accusation was completely fake. Here is the thing. Dumois is an Instagram account that Gabby showed me. You have to be accepted to it. It has all of the best celebrity tea. When I say tea, I mean like I just saw Leonardo DiCaprio or Bryce Hall sitting at this restaurant. He was doing this, it's like really good stuff. So this to me was a very trusted source. And I was like, aha, this is what's up. You know what I mean? Like this makes sense now that they're so on again and off again and it blows up the internet. However, you guys got really pissed about this when we reported on it, saying, it's real, don't ruin the relationship. Here's the thing, like by saying these things, by commenting on these rumors, it's not ruining the relationship or anything. Like they're still going to do them. You know what I mean? We're still going to see photos of Bradison. They're still going to be hanging out. I feel now knowing more that the relationship is not fake. In that moment, I had texted Gabby and I was like, dang, like, this is crazy. Like, this is probably what's up. But now that I've thought about it and I'm past the emotional part of that, I feel like their relationship is real. And I'm glad Bryce Hall said something, which we will get more into.
Yeah. Well, and also, to comment right off of what you're saying, Jana, about Dumois, and just to like let you guys know that you can't just submit yes, they do take submissions from anyone, but she only posts stuff that are coming from someone who's a trusted news source. So someone who's claiming that they work for Addison Rae's management group, like that person has something on their profile that makes her believe them when they're saying that. And also in the past, there's been a bunch of stories where Dumois has reported it first before that story went public. Most recently, what is happening with Harry Styles' movie, Don't Worry, Darling. They were the first to report that it got shut down for production, and that became news only like a couple of hours later. But again, it's you as just like any news story you guys hear, it's up to you to make up your mind if you believe it to be true or not. And the best source is straight from the source, and we did just get that straight from the source with Bryce Hall.
I totally think a lot of celebrity couples have this sort of contract where they're supposed to date. Like I know on The Bachelor, they obviously have to date for a certain amount of time to get those paychecks. And I also believe that Addison and Bryce know that if they're going to post TikToks together, they're going to get more attention versus them posting TikToks by themselves. However, the chemistry between Bryce and Addison is like very transparent and obvious to all of us who watch their TikToks or follow along. So I do believe that they actually like each other. They haven't confirmed their relationship publicly, but the way that they are posting neck kissing pictures, the paparazzi has caught them kissing outside of Saddle Ranch. Like they definitely have feelings for each other. You can't say this is all for publicity.
Yeah. Totally. And it is coming from a place too that there are celebrity couples that are for publicity, and there are celebrity couples, and I won't name names, and there's celebrity couples that are completely fake and are just there because they're either promoting a movie they're in together or a television they're in together. That happens all the time in Hollywood, which is why I think a lot of people were like, that could be. But we're happy to hear that they are on. We know how much you guys love Bradison. We ship Addison here at Hollywire, so we are happy to hear that they are officially on. And their relationship, it feels like every day we check in on these two, it just keeps on going. They keep on taking it up a notch, which we love to see.
Yeah, there's no shortage of Bradison content.
No, there's not. And it's like they're hitting the gym in the mornings and, paparazzi's catching them there. Like, I will say it is a lot of paparazzi shots, and they are very much so kissing way more in public now than they ever have before. So that also kind of made me raise an eyebrow, about the whole
Totally.
publicity stunt. But that being said, we have to remember Addison's in a time where, like, one, she's really young in her career. I don't think she feels like she really needs to do this for publicity. I feel like she's risen in a way.
Totally.
And I don't think, like, look, I don't think Bryce Hall is necessarily helping her. So why would, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think when we sit back and think about that, it's like, okay, yeah, two, she can be with anyone she wants to be with right now. This is like her moment in time. And like, I feel like she could call up Zac Efron and be like, do you want to go on a date? And he'd probably say yes if he wasn't taken living in Australia. But you get what I'm saying.
I agree with that.
Well,
and I feel like Addison and Bryce and all these TikTokers, they know where to go so the paparazzi can see them. And I do feel like they sometimes do things for paparazzi.
Yeah.
But they do like each other. I really, truly believe that they really like each other. And I think Bryce does help Addison. I know a lot of fans watching love Bryce and are always going to support Bryce. And I believe that Bryce does help Addison. Addison has a lot of young fans who ship for Addison so hard.
Yeah.
So I think Bryce is a good move for Addison while she's young. And I also do believe she likes him. I don't think this couple will last forever, but right now it's hot and it's heavy, and it does help both of their careers as well.
It does.
Definitely.
And they do seem, the most important thing, which I think is key for any relationship, is at the end of the day, they really do seem to be really good friends and they really seem to support each other. Also, something I've been noticing that's been happening the more in this round of their relationship is they are also like adapting to each other's brands when necessary. Like whenever Addison is doing something with the Sway Boys, she's always kind of like, she's a little bit more like unguarded and more like loose and fun. And then when Bryce is doing something with Addison, I noticed he's tried to be like a little bit more reserved and like not cursing, just to kind of respect how her audience is a little bit more mainstream and his audience is a little bit more edgy. And I think that's great that they can do that for each other. And I think that's a sign that this relationship definitely has legs and could last for more than just a couple of months this time.
Totally. And I also
agree.
think that Addison lets loose when she's with Bryce. When I see her with Bryce in videos, like I feel like she's laughing more and like having fun.
Yes.
Like sometimes Addison is a little bit more, not like uptight, but she's just a little bit more reserved and quiet. Like Bryce definitely brings out that side of her.
Totally.
Right. And I think that this will both help their content, because I think Bryce maybe being a little bit more mainstream on his content could only help engage his audience more. And Addison letting loose a little bit more could only help her content feel more organic and fun. So I think they're learning from each other, which I think is really cool.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Totally.
It's the best of both worlds for them, like it really works. So yeah.
It does. So where we're getting all this tea, Bryce Hall, he recently went on the Hollywood Raw podcast with Dax Holt and Adam Glynn, where he appeared to be really unbothered by all of these rumors saying that Bradison was fake, which he addressed on the podcast. As Bryce said, quote, "Guys, we're going to break up on December 3rd, which is what the rumor said, that they had a breakup date for December 3rd. Bryce goes, "It's actually going to be on December 4th. He joked.
I love that. I love that so much.
Bryce even admitted that he was actually shocked when he first heard about the rumor, as he said, "I was like, what the F? We're not that smart. We are just like a normal 20 and 21-year-old. Bryce went on to say that he understands how the rumor that their relationship is fake started, as he explains, quote, "I can see where they think that, though. You see a couple, a boy and a girl, randomly posting back together after months and getting 80 million views on TikTok. It looks like Justin and Selena." The host then added, "Anyone can send in a blind item and everyone believes it." Two interesting things I'd love to talk about here. First of all, Bradison getting compared to Jelena. And
yes,
the second,
and we've compared them to that before.
We
I was
have,
gonna
but
say, I
they
feel
know
like
it.
that started here.
Yeah, we started that.
And then the second thing also is that the host is, and not anyone, yes, anyone could send in a blind item, but I think, when a blind item gets posted, it is coming usually from what is assumed to be a trusted source. So I will say that, because that is not true.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, because sometimes people, like with the internet today, like people really can make up anything. And if it gets to the right person, people can run with it and spin it. Like rumors really do happen. I think this whole December 3rd thing, their breakup date, is absolutely hilarious. I mean, I'm looking forward to December 3rd, this day, because if this is actually true, like I will die to the floor.
Well,
I know,
December,
right?
Yeah, maybe December 3rd will be the day where they become officially boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yes, because they haven't announced it publicly yet, but they're totally leading to that direction with all the pictures that they're posting. And I totally think I don't think they're like together. Like, I don't think they have a title, but I think they're like together without having to like put a title on it. You know what I mean? There's no
Totally.
Facebook status, but like they're together. They're pretty exclusive.
Yeah. And honestly, like, who is going to come for Addison? Who's going to come for Bryce romantically now? I feel like it's, you know what I mean? Like, I would be so intimidated, even if I was in that world and like wanted to go after Bryce. Like, Addison's the queen of the internet right now. Like, I wouldn't dare try to do that. And like, same for going after Addison if I was a guy, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I feel like that's just not even possible. So I feel like they have almost no choice but to go official very soon if they keep this up, you know?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
totally. Because someone else entering into the picture, like that could just create a lot of jealousy. But then at the same time, some people really might like that chase and they might like that competitiveness. So you never know what is in store for these two in their future dating polls.
It is
Well, I
crazy.
mean, if we're going to compare them to Jelena, right? Like it happened when Justin ended up dating. I mean, also taking the comparison of Jelena is not a great couple comparison because we all know how that ended.
True.
But I mean, when Justin moved on with Haley, I feel like it was pretty soon after his like last breakup with Selena, which I think is why Jelena shippers are still holding on.
Still holding on.
But then you look at a couple like, Noah Beck and Dixie D'Amelio, which I feel like if anything happened, I'm not saying it's going to, but if anything happened with Bradison, I feel like that maybe whoever they end up dating next, they're going to be like, oh, we're just friends before they like put a label on it. If they do that, or they'll stay together forever, guys. Bradison, they already have their wedding hashtag, so.
They do. And is this any different than any other young couple who is 19, 20, 21 years old? Like, nobody wants to get married at that age. So of course couples are going to battle with like having a title or going back together. Like you want to be young and single, but then you also want to be in a relationship. So Bryce and Addison are no different than any other young couple.
Absolutely.
Just going through ups and downs. Like they just happen to be in the public eye.
Yeah, like this is a tale as old as time, especially in Hollywood, also in real life, but very much so in Hollywood. You see two very famous people come together on and off again. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they threw someone else in there to mix it up. Especially after hearing about this publicity stunt, Bryce was like, we're not that smart, but he's like, but now I'm a content creator.
Yeah.
Like, who can we?
But why is there no reality show on all of these kids? Is it because they're too young? Are they just like social media stars?
Zach, I think it's because they're turning out their own content. There's nothing, there's no mystery with them. I think they're pitching these shows. I mean, we heard the Hype House had a show that they were like working on. We heard the D'Amelios had a show they were working on. Unless that show has tea that we already don't know about, then I don't see how that would be a success. Prez and I talked about this recently on Live with Prez, because it's interesting that they do that. But I will say that, Bryce really is using this relationship as clickbait for his videos. I mean, his latest YouTube video was called "This Almost Ruined My Relationship." And there was nothing in the video about anything ruining his relationship or Addison. But I mean, it's smart. He's a content creator. He knows what he's doing. He's a very savvy business person. This is definitely working for them right now, for sure.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, we cannot stop talking about them.
We can't.
I know. And
can't.
it's cool because like now it seems like Bryce is more adamant to like talk about it, which we haven't seen before. He's talked about it, but now he's like, speaking a little more in depth. In this interview,
have a comment. I just want to say we have a comment. This is cute. Olivia L says her parents got married at 19 and 20. We know that Addison and Bryce are 20 and 21. So Olivia L, yes, it could happen for Bradison.
It totally could.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time. That's for sure.
No.
So in this interview, Bryce also seemed to confirm that he and Addison are the real deal without labeling their relationship. When asked what the deal with him and Addison is, Bryce said, "We're cool, we're friends, we're vibing." When asked if they are more than friends, since they were caught making out last week, Bryce joked that there was a random CGI video edit. Someone caught us kissing, but that wasn't even real. Bryce then laughs as to say that is obviously a joke. Bryce said the same thing about his Halloween kiss with Addison when he and Addison were on Josh Richards' Tea Talk. When Josh showed Bryce and Addison videos of their Halloween makeout, and Bryce kept joking that those two videos of their kisses were CGI. And also, why does Josh have those videos saved on his phone? That's a very good question.
That is a good question.
I feel like the Sway Boys and the Hype House people and anyone else in their like little TikTok star world is also so here for this relationship. Like, I feel like when they're back on, like everything is at peace, because like I've been reading the comments on their Instagram posts and everyone's just so here for it. And I feel like when your friends really support a relationship, it just gives it more like amp. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like it makes
totally.
it more real.
Yeah, and if they did like break up for like a brief moment, then it's like everyone who's closer to Bryce feels like they have to take a side, or everyone who's closer to
Right.
Addison feels like they have to take a side. So it's like when your friend group is so intertwined and intermingled, it's easier for everybody when they're together.
Absolutely.
Well, here was another thing that I thought was interesting, and two things with Tea Talk that was interesting to me. One, how like it was teased that Addison was going to be in this. Like TikTok Room had like even figured it out. They're like, look at the background. Oh my God, she's going to be on Tea Talk. And then she was on Tea Talk and like she barely spoke. Like it was cute to see her and Bryce, but like she wasn't spilling any tea. She was eating like chicken nuggets, or maybe not chicken nuggets, because I bet you they were from Chick-fil-A, knowing Addison with her Parisian sauce. So I just was like, you know, it was like, okay, she was like eating her, you know, her chicken bits or whatever you call it, like the whole time. And I was like, okay, what's happening here? But also on Tea Talk, they made a joke about how all the Sway boys are always off and on with their girlfriends. And if you'll notice right now, I mean, at the last we heard that, you know, Jaden and Mads are like hanging out, Nessa and Josh are hanging out, obviously Bryce and Addison are hanging out, which makes me wonder, like, when Josh and Nessa stop hanging out, and same with Mads and Jaden, do you think that also that will impact Bryce's relationship status? Do you think he's in relationships when his bros are and not when they're not? I see that with friend groups a lot.
Yeah, I see that too. I think every relationship is obviously different, but sometimes it's like if all of your friends are dating someone, let's say you're the one single guy or the one single girl in the group, then you're almost like, oh, I guess it would be easier to date someone so we can all go on double dates. And then when all your boys or all your girls are single, all right, well, if I'm not in love, then I might as well be single too. So sometimes people, their friends influence them sometimes.
Absolutely. And it makes it easier to like miss that person. Maybe like you shouldn't, maybe like, for example, Mads and Jaden, I love them together and I want them to be together, but maybe like they realize like they're not as good together as they are separate. However, when all their friends are together, it's easier for them to miss each other. So they just go together anyways, you know?
Yeah. Because if everyone's like going on dates one night and then you're the one person home, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I think like also
Griffin's like the only Sway boy I feel like who's definitely single.
Yes.
Griffin's like really doing him right now, and I'm happy for him.
No, he really is. And we don't really talk about Blake, but he also has like a girlfriend too. So
yeah,
he's also in love too.
You're right. Blake and his girlfriend, but they've been solid. Blake and his girlfriend are like wifed up. I feel
that's probably why we don't talk about them, because they're so solid.
No drama.
Totally. Yeah, but as far as the future of Bryce and Addison, like, look, I feel like they're going stronger than ever. We've never seen so many paparazzi photos of them kissing. I don't know if you guys just saw. She was wearing like a gray workout outfit. They were like kissing outside of, I don't know, maybe Dog Pound or wherever it was they were working out. And then for Bryce to come on and be like, this is not fake, you know, like addressing, he clearly agreed to do that interview. I feel like that in itself is such a huge thing, you know?
Yeah, but who makes out on the side of the street? Like, that's why I think some of this is for paparazzi. Like, you're not going to make out with your boyfriend or girlfriend, like, in the middle of the street when, like, everyone's just walking by.
Well, Fletcher was saying, when he was interviewing Griffin, he was, like, talking about this kiss and capturing it. And it really does sound like they were trying to be sly, because there was paparazzi at their table. And so they were like, oh, the paparazzi's at our table. We're going to go over here and make out. So, like, that did look like a genuine thing. But then when we heard the information that they were only at Saddle Ranch for a couple of minutes, like we heard that, Ian told us that recently, we were like, okay, well, that doesn't make sense. If they're there for like a couple of minutes, like that does sound like a photo op. But now we're learning they were there for a couple of minutes because they had to go to Kendall Jenner's Halloween birthday party.
Yes. Which we can assume that Addison, we're going to get into all of this, but I'm like assuming Addison was the one invited through Courtney and then brought Bryce as her +1.
That's a big deal.
Epic photo made my Sunday. I've been waiting for this. I've truly been waiting for this. I've been waiting for a Kourtney Kardashian, Bryce Hall, and Addison Rae photo, and we got it yesterday. And now we all just have so many theories as to, has Kourtney met Bryce before? Was this the first time they met? I can't even believe they were at Kendall's birthday party. Like, so many things.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm curious. Well, so basically what we know also that Bryce, he explained on the Hollywood Raw podcast about his off and on relationship with Addison, saying that they've only been off only for 2 times and they've never gotten into a fight because they are so hard-headed and nice to each other. Bryce also said that he and Addison Rae are unbothered by rumors because they try to unplug as much as possible. As he said, as much as it sounds crazy, we are rarely on our phones. We post our stuff and then we get off our phones. We live in the moment. Time flies when you're on your phone a lot. Bryce said that he and Addison really do love to work out together, which we've seen on their TikToks. And Addison is the person who brought Bryce to the West Hollywood celebrity gym Dog Pound. Bryce also confirmed that Addison and Kourtney Kardashian, what people were wondering all along, that they are actually really good friends. As Bryce confirmed, they're really good friends outside the camera. Kourtney gives Addison really good advice all the time. In fact, as we were just mentioning, it turns out that Bryce and Addison spent Halloween at Kendall Jenner's birthday party, as Addison just posted a shot of her, Kourtney, and Bryce all hugging at that party with the caption, "Triple Threat," which I will say, very smart on Addison to wait a week until all the backlash for all the celebrities who went to Kendall's big epic party.
Totally. Plus, I mean, Addison was the one that posted this. Kourtney didn't post this. Bryce didn't post this. Like, Addison is the middleman. She brought them all together. So, I mean, I'm just so interested to see or to hear about if we ever hear like how Bryce and Kourtney like reacted. Are they like super chill? I mean, that picture, like Kourtney was hugging Bryce. It looks like they all got along really well.
Yeah, like that was a really happy photo. It was as if like that was Kourtney's like approval of this relationship, you know?
Totally. Because Kourtney is like Addison's like big sister or mentor in some way, obviously. So, I mean, maybe Addison had to get Kourtney's approval of Bryce. So maybe that was the approval, that was the official post. And that's just one step. That's like her fairy godmother giving her the blessing.
I have a feeling though that, because we did have a theory, because we did notice that when Addison wasn't with Bryce, she was posting with Kourtney 24/7. And then when Addison and Bryce now were publicly being seen together, we hadn't seen a lot of Addison and Kourtney. So we were like, what's going on here? But I have a theory that Kourtney has met Bryce before, maybe not face to face, maybe via FaceTime, because, you know, let's not forget, Addison was just in New York City for her birthday. Don't you think that Bryce was like FaceTiming her while she was at a hotel with Kourtney? I could see that happening. I also could see Kourtney seems like such a cool girl that I could see her like on any of the hangs that she's been with Addison. I could see her being like, oh yeah, have Bryce join us at Nobu Malibu for dinner. No big deal.
Yeah.
We don't see pictures of that though, because I also think that Bryce and Addison have been hanging out longer than we're seeing pictures of them, because I feel like they might be wanting to figure out what they are and what they're doing before they like mess with their fans' hearts again. That's a theory I have.
Yeah. I mean, I think Bryce and Kourtney have probably met on FaceTime. I'm sure Kourtney has heard all about Bryce Hall, but I don't think that Kourtney and Bryce have ever met before. I don't think Kourtney would be like, yeah, you can just bring Bryce around. I feel like Kourtney did not want to be seen with any TikTokers besides Addison. I feel like Addison was like the one exception.
Yeah.
I mean, Kourtney, she's not trying to hang out with a bunch of kids. I think she just made an exception with Bryce because Bryce is dating Addison. So I disagree with you. I think that this was the first time they ever met. And I think that they were all just drunk at a party. And I feel like Kourtney probably does approve of Bryce. But she definitely was skeptical.
I think it's interesting because Kourtney and Scott like have been on and off forever. That is Kourtney's on and off again relationship. And yes, they're much older, and yes, they have children and whatever. But Kourtney obviously has experience with on and off again relationships with someone she truly loves. You know, I have said this from the beginning. I think Addison has real feelings for Bryce. Whenever she talks about him, you can see it. Whenever they're out, even that paparazzi kiss, like it's written all over her face. So I think Bryce has been a hot topic to chat about. That's what us girls do. We sit around and we chat about the guys we like or we love. So I think he's been a hot topic in their friendship. And I also agree with you, Zach, in the sense of, I think Kourtney's maybe met Bryce privately. I don't think this was a come to Kendall's birthday last minute, bring whoever, you know? So I think because they had met privately, and I'm sure there's more to their relationship that, again, the public doesn't really know about Bryce and Addison, but Kourtney does. That's when it's okay to kind of start going public with it. Like, I feel like that's just such a sign that they're getting more serious, Addison and Bryce. And now we probably will see them going to Nobu together or Boa or wherever it is that Kourtney will go with Addison. I'm sure Bryce will come along now, because now we have this like public photo that says we're all friends. Me and Bryce are dating, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, yeah, and I agree. I think the caption too, triple threat, and the photo, like they went Instagram official with their friendship, which means we'll be seeing a lot more of this threesome down the line. But guys, we want to hear, what do you think about Bryce and Addison, and Bryce, Addison, and Kourtney Kardashian all hanging out? What are your thoughts? Let us know. I'm Gabby Conti.
I'm Zach Weinberg.
I'm Scott. I'm Jana Rosenberg, and this is the Hollywire Tea Party. Stay here, you guys, only on Hollywire. Bye.
Bye.